Hello, beautiful earth angels. Welcome. Welcome. Welcome to Earth Angels Unite, podcast 138. When the cycle gets loud, double down. So, when a cycle is about to break, it often gets louder, more emotional intensity, more triggers, more resistance, and more old patterns trying to pull you back into the familiar suffering, back into the familiar suffering. This episode is here to help you, beautiful earth angels and cycle breakers, those empaths, understand why the flare up is actually a sign of transformation, not failure. You'll learn how to double down on your practices in the exact moments when your ego wants to give up, and how accountability, alchemy, and alignment create the breakthrough. So, I want to thank you all for being here. My intention with these podcasts is to create a space of transformation, that you come one person and you leave transformed. And I'll be sharing teachings from my debut book, Receiving from Your Angels, 4 Practices to Heal Your Pain with Angel Love. My book baby, she's going to be 4 on Sunday. And, to help you, my intention is to bring those, how we break the cycle, how we get the gem, is to bring those issues and tissues, those wounds, the pain, to the light for healing. So, I was just listening to the angels for a minute. So you can heal, the pain, the trauma, the patterns, right? The issues and the tissues by relaxing and cherishing your body, receiving and trusting your intuition, and opening up to your next level of angelic pain relief. And so, I want to welcome everyone who's going to be here live today, everyone who's going to connect with the replay. I'm so grateful for you. And to be surrounded in a circle of unconditional love, compassion, healing, joy, miracles. And it's just always a pleasure and an honor to be here. So happy. Oh, thank you, angels. I was like, I feel like I'm forgetting something. My name is Jill Kempner, angel coach and author. As an angel coach, what I help my clients do is to heal the pain in their bodies with the love of the angels, and really to find that the gem, right? If we're experiencing pain, if we're experiencing a repetitive pattern, in order to stop that pattern, break that cycle, change, take that pain and turn it into peace, take that wound and turn it into wisdom, we need to understand both the deeper meaning of that pain and the higher purpose of that pain. Then once we learn the lesson and we integrate that, we don't have to experience that pain or pattern anymore. That's what I do in a nutshell. And, and we do this through the relax, release, receive process. So it's so gentle. It's so healing. It's so peaceful. And so it's an honor to walk by my client's side as they connect with their soul, their bodies, their intuition, and their angels through the daily practice that I create for them, through self-energy work, and through intention and intentional living, devotional living, focused living. Okay, angels, I love that. Thank you. So today we're talking about what it really means when a cycle gets loud, and what's that actually a sign, um, and that's actually a sign that it's about to break. Yes. Also, how to double down on your devotion instead of abandoning yourself in the messy middle. So important. So happy Tuesday. Happy Mercury retrograde. I'm learning more about my own personal birth chart this month, and the placement of the planets and what signs they're in and everything. It's been so fascinating. And happy new moon. We are starting the new moon portal today, which peaks on the 20th. And so we're in the dark of the moon, which is an opportune time to release. And sometimes, I mean, talk about the timing of this, that's often when that pattern gets louder, right? When that cycle gets louder, because it's like, okay, your intuition is opened by the moon. You're being called to release into the darkness, right? Into the soil, to plant those seeds of new beginnings. So sometimes the dark of the moon can feel heavier, can feel messier, right? We're in the messy middle of breaking that cycle. And so the angels just want to normalize all of that for you. So thank you, angels. So when the cycle gets loud, it's rarely convenient. In fact, it usually erupts right in the middle of your tenderness, your transition, your expansion. I've learned this over and over again, that the most recent initiation came through for me 2 places at once. And before I share that, I'm getting a download. So what was interesting is, thank you. So I set my intention to teach a group coaching container, to offer a group coaching container called Angelic Cycle Breakers. And we are having so much fun reading through my book and intentionally breaking a cycle with their fuel, with their angels, and with their daily practice, which we're slowly building, and with the relax, release, receive process. And it's been really, really great. And obviously, I also want to break cycles, right? I'm a cycle breaker. I'm an earth angel. I'm an empath. And so I got very clear on the cycle I was breaking, actually right after the first class. So I thought it was one thing, because I realized, as I've shared before, when I taught 4 or 5 podcasts about the cycles that we're breaking as earth angels: pain, lack, trauma, and codependency. And the bottom line is, I've had tendrils in all of those cycles. So at first I thought it was lack. And because I was like, oh, I'm cleaning up this old like poverty stuff from my childhood and from my ancestors and all that. But after that first class, I realized that it was actually codependency. And talk about the cycle getting loud. So I was supporting my friend through a moment of homelessness, and an emotional crisis. And then immediately got sick. I lost my voice. I had to cancel clients. I was really forced into stillness. And it took me a moment to realize that my nervous system was overloaded, because I slipped back into that old codependent pattern, right? Emotionally regulating someone else's system beyond what was healthy for me. That's when the cycle got loud. And I mean, I'm sending so much compassion back to my past self, 2 weeks ago self. And so much gratitude because boy, as the commitment to being a leader of cycle breakers in my course, angelic cycle breakers, right? I came face to face with a very old pattern, a very old cycle that I have been consciously dissolving, melting, releasing, transforming for years. And now it was like, oh my gosh, like my commitment to my people is that come on, come to this course, right? Come to this offering and let's break that cycle together. And right, so that I want to get every gem, right? Every point of wisdom from that cycle, right? Through the eyes of my angels, so I don't have to repeat it ever again. It's like, whoa. So why did that's part I created this podcast for that reason and from some experiences in the field work recently. So back to back to my notes when I keep getting downloads. So when that cycle got loud, instead of walking away from my practice, I doubled down. And that's what I mean. Yes, double down means I set a clear vow of silence boundary. In part, I had no voice anyway. Step back from managing my friend's emotions. That was huge. And actually, another person that was part of that circle too, which I didn't even realize I was, right? Enabling. Very hard to do, but I did it. And I devoted myself even more intentionally to the relax, release, receive process. I was like, ooh, as soon as I realized I was in the cycle, I'm like, oh, time to do the work. So I meditated longer. I pulled extra oracle cards. I did more energy work. I grounded more consciously. I did all the self-care stuff for when you have a cold. And I honored my body with gentleness. I did more of the things that keeps me aligned. Because when you're face to face with that shadow of the cycle you're breaking, your practice is not optional. It's medicine. I hope that's landing in the way that I want it to. So when I say the cycle gets loud, I'm talking about that moment, the moment a karmic, ancestral, emotional, or energetic pattern reaches its breaking point. It's the moment where the unconscious becomes conscious, where the shadow steps into the light, and where the part of you that's been carrying the weight finally says, I can't keep doing this. So a cycle gets loud when the old ways stop working. It shows up as friction, overwhelm, emotional spikes, physical symptoms, unexpected chaos, or a relapse into old habits. This isn't punishment. It's your soul saying, this is the exact place where freedom is trying to come in. And it was definitely freedom for me. I think for others, it could be compassion. It could be peace. It could be unconditional love. For me, it was freedom because I was feeling that the weight of the world, right? The codependency, the rescuing, right? And last week in the 1111 portal, we did a ceremony as we talked about this universal 9-year and the power of the 11 and all of that. I stepped through that frequency. I stepped through that gateway, 1111 portal gateway, releasing, rescuing, and judgment two energies, two patterns, two cycles that I've been trapped in for a very long time. So that's why for me, it was that freedom. I hope that resonates. The angels see that escalation that I'm talking about. Hi, Bea. As a sign of readiness, not failure. Take that in. I want to say that again. Angels see that escalation, right, of all these symptoms I was talking about as a sign of readiness, not failure. It means you are finally conscious enough, strong enough, emotionally supported enough to dissolve that pattern rather than repeat it. Like, I just so feel that and feel so grateful for it. Okay, say hi if you're here. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the examples. So for earth angels and cycle breakers, the cycle gets loud in all kinds of ways. So we want to recognize what is okay, we understand maybe hopefully what the cycle is that we're breaking, right? The pattern that we're dissolving. So it shows up in all these ways, right? So some of the examples of the cycle gets loud for earth angels, cycle breakers, empaths, highly sensitive, highly intuitive souls. Those are the souls I am here to lead. Those who know they have an inner master, those who are ready to step on the path of the initiate, the path of the alchemist, planting a little seed there. Be talking more about that in December. Excuse me. So when you're, let me slow it down for a second and see what the angels are saying. Okay, so maybe it's your body, right? Your body flares, your digestion, your Crohn's, your migraines, your sleep, your hormones, your blood pressure, right? Your body isn't sabotaging you. It's signaling that the old pattern can't be held in your tissues anymore. Maybe your emotions tensify, more judgment, more anger, more anxiety, more comparison, more shame than usual. That spike isn't regression. It's the purge before the release. This is why we got to double down, right? Maybe old relationship patterns show up. You find yourself rescuing again, over caretaking, or basing your worth on someone else's mood. Maybe everything seems to go wrong, right? All at once. Car trouble, cancellations, conflict, money stress. The ego calls it chaos. The angels call it recalibration. The cycle gets loud when you're close, when you're really, really close to breaking it. So I hope that resonates. The angels were saying something, so I was listening for a minute. So going a little deeper into those examples, because I think they're so important. Going a little deeper into those examples and seeing which one resonates with you. Right? When your body flares, maybe you've ignored your needs for too long, and then suddenly, right, the Crohn's flares, the migraines return, the sleep collapses, your adrenals crash. Again, your body isn't sabotaging you. It's signaling readiness for a new cycle of self-care, gentleness, boundaries. Again, that emotional pattern intensifies, right? Feeling more lack, more comparison, more shame, more anger. That spike isn't regression. And this is where we often, right? It's like, oh, this stuff isn't working, and you throw it out the window. It's like, no. This is when we have to double down on the practice, right? When the pattern gets louder. It's the purge before the release. It's the shadow surfacing because you're finally strong enough to alchemize it. Like you're ready. Again, when old relationships activate your wounds, a family member's behavior, a friend's crisis, or client's emotional spiral pulls you back into over responsibility, rescuing, people pleasing, guilt. Guilt is a major sign that that cycle is getting very close to breaking. Okay, that activation is your angels saying, this is where the old contract ends. I love that. When your intuitive gifts get foggy, right? We're talking about like the examples of the cycle getting loud so that you can recognize in your own life where you are in that healing process. You feel disconnected from your angels or from your fuel, right? Your intention. This is not a sign that you're off. It's a sign to lean in, lean closer. It's the angels clearing static from your channel. When your inner child, protector, or exiled parts get triggered, sudden sadness, overwhelm, rage, or shutdown may arise because a deep part of you is finally ready to be seen, held, and reintegrated. Let me know if this resonates with you. Okay. When you're presented with the exact opposite of what you're calling in, oh, I can feel this. You ask for abundance and your bank account dips. You ask for peace and conflict surfaces. You ask for boundaries and someone pushes on them, right? This is not a cosmic joke. This is a calibration test. Your angels are helping you embody the new frequency. So let that land, right? And that new frequency is what? The intention that you set. So I've seen this with so many clients. One client stepped deeply into the shadow of her fuel and almost immediately felt overwhelmed, anxious, disconnected. So she drifted away from her daily practice. She thought the loudness meant she was failing, but in truth, it meant she was finally touching the root of that cycle, right? When she redevoted to her fuel and brought the angels directly to that overwhelmed part, right? Her system softened within minutes. The loudness was not regression, it was release. I had another client found her lack cycle getting really loud the moment abundance started showing up. She began comparing herself to everyone, questioning her worth, doubting her gifts, slipping into jealousy, competition, shame. That emotional loudness was her nervous system shedding the old 3D lack frequency, right? Once we named it and tamed it with angelic truth, and she recommitted to those tools, she stopped abandoning her devotion and instead doubled down, which reopened her intuitive channels and the flow of abundance. I had another client who has depression, right? Living with depression. During a recent activation, she let depression lead instead of her devotion, right? She drifted from her daily angel practice rather than doubling down, forgetting that the very depression rising up is the exact pain that she helps her own clients with. Right? If she stayed with her devotion long enough to receive the gem of that wound, of that pain, which is a big part of what I do with my coaching clients, right? I'm asking them both consciously and unconsciously or subconsciously, what is the gift of this wound? She would have uncovered the medicine that heals her and becomes her service. And of course, once we pointed this out, she course corrected, right? That's why we have a coach, because this stuff isn't easy. This is why the double down, right? When the cycle gets loud, double down. This is one of my this was a spiritual download I got, God, really almost a whole epicycle ago, right? When the cycle gets loud, this is why double down is non-negotiable. Just like I really say your angel practice is non-negotiable, right? When the cycle gets loud, the ego interrupts it, interprets it as danger or backtracking. The angels interpret it as readiness. And the way through is what I call the 3 A's of the angelic cycle breaker path: accountability, alchemy, alignment. Okay, accountability means staying devoted to the practices that support you, your fuel, your intention, your meditation, healthy movement, your cards, your breath, especially when it's messy. It's the choice to keep showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it. Alchemy is what happens. Alchemy is what happens when you bring the angelic light, love, compassion, energy medicine directly to the part of you that is loud. It's shining compassion and curiosity on the shadow rather than shame. I love that. This is where we transform pain into peace, wounds into wisdom, and the pattern into your medicine, right? Alignment is the devotion to return to the truth of who you are, right? Your soul self, your soul essence. A divine soul, inherently worthy, supported, and guided. Alignment means remembering that the cycle is not here to punish you. It's here to graduate you. So every time you double down, the cycle loses power. Every time you stay with yourself instead of collapsing or checking out, the angels have more space to work. Every time you choose devotion over distraction, compassion over criticism, presence over panic. Ooh, I love that. Angel bumps. You shift from ego control back into soul flow. That's when the timeline changes. That's when the old identity starts to shed like a snake skin, and your nervous system learns a new way of being. So if you're listening to this and thinking, Jill, this is exactly what I'm going through. And I want to say, right, we're in Mercury retrograde. We're in the final 6 weeks of 2025, the universal 9 year of endings, completion, mastery, the end of an epicycle. Right, next year we're starting over a new epicycle next year, universal 1. We're in the year of the snake, shed those skins, transformation, deep healing. Right? If you're like, this is exactly what I'm going through, I want you to know you don't have to navigate this alone. I'd love to invite you to a free angelic pain relief consult. This is a 1-hour consultation over Zoom, where it's a heartfelt and compassionate space. And I'm listening to you and your angels, and I'm going to share what your pain is really about. It's often not what you think. I'm going to share the angelic perspective of your pain, which creates instant relief. And then based on what we've talked about in the consult, one of the results, one of the gifts is to walk away with your fuel, that high vibrational energy and intention that's going to break that cycle, that's going to heal that pain. And then I pull an archangel for you. You're going to walk away with an archangel that is going to help you embody that fuel. And then if we're a good fit, I'll share the details of my coaching program with you. I'd love to have that conversation with you. And I know how brave and courageous, how vulnerable it is to step into a coaching container to, talk about the pain. And I have so much compassion. And I know that I'm here to help people who are experiencing autoimmune issues, who are going through or went through the cancer journey, who have chronic pain or PTSD. Um, and we're going to apply the relax, release, receive process to that pain to get the gem, right? It's all about the gems of the journey. So that was a lot that I shared. So let's just tune in for a couple breaths here. So closing your eyes, placing your hands over your heart, and just breathing. And as you breathe, let yourself relax and soften. Breathe and relax, breathe and root. As you drop your roots deep into the earth, feel the support below of Mother Earth. Opening your heart in gratitude and devotion. I'm devoted to receiving love and healing from my angels. And in this moment, just allowing yourself to receive their love, their devotion, their compassion for you, celebrating how far you've come in this cycle. And I feel your guardian angels around you in this circle of pearlescent light, making your light brighter. Your soul light, your heart light, your divine light. And then it's shining in the dark of the moon here, shining on that shadow that's been surfaced, that pattern, that cycle that you're here to break. And we just ask, where is my cycle getting loud? And how are you inviting me to double down? Show me the layer, the level, the tendril of that cycle that's getting loud. Notice what you feel in your body, what you hear with your inner voice, what you hear in your inner world, trusting your intuition. Let your breath touch into those places that need healing, and let your angel's love carried on the molecules of oxygen to that part, to that pain. Just touch in with love. Where is my cycle getting loud? And how are you inviting me to double down? I'm willing to learn every lesson, every gem of this cycle. Trust what you see, feel, hear, know, sense, and smell. Trust your intuition to the next level. Your angels are always communicating with you through your intuition, through your body, through your heart. And let the awareness that comes through be your first act of accountability, your first act of alchemy, your first step back into alignment. Your angels are right here. The cycle is already loosening. And your next level of freedom and compassion is closer than you think. Take a deep breath in and out. As you relax, we bring our hands to our hearts in prayer mudra. We dedicate the healing you received today to all our relations in all directions of time, Feeling your angels here bowing to you with love and devotion. As we seal this short inner journey with a namaste. Namaste, everyone. Okay. So beautiful. I love it. I'm going to pull a card. Actually, my personal reading today is very in tune with all of this. I'm going to pull a card just for you around that cycle. So how is it that you're so clear on the cycle you're breaking and the next right step to supporting that dissolving of the cycle, right? Let's see what your guardian angels are saying. Thank you for being here. Oh, I felt like a lot wanted to come out. Ooh, decide. You possess inherent wisdom and a deep connection to the flow of the universe. Listen to the quiet voice within that guides you towards the right decisions and actions. I love this because the angels are saying sometimes, right, when we're breaking that cycle, we have to make that decision, right, to double down on our practice. We have to make that decision to say no, to put up the healthy boundary, to love ourselves through it, right? One of my favorite prayers is, I'm loving myself through this. I'm loving myself through this, right? That's the decision, right? That we're going to love ourselves through that shadow, through that cycle breaking, through to the other side. So make the decision to commit to trusting your intuition and taking that action. It's like every single time you get an intuitive hit and you take that action step, you're building that spiritual mastery. You're building the strength of your intuitive channels, the strength of your divine connection, right? And I know it can be scary sometimes. So decide, right? Inherent wisdom is coming through, and listen to the quiet voice within. So I absolutely love that. I want to, I'm so excited about the next coming up podcast. We're on break next week for the holiday. I'm going to slow way down because I'm working on something that I'm launching on December 15th. So look for that. I'm going to be talking a lot about that. But I also launched something else called the Angel Reiki Immersion. And right now it's on my website. It's on Facebook. I'll put the link here so that you can see it and read about it. But essentially, it's going to be a small cohort, a small group of 6 souls studying Angel Reiki with me. So if you're interested in that, go to my website, check it out. I'm so excited about the way that all unfolded. It starts on January 24th, 2026, Universal Year 1. So if you want to start out with a self-healing tool and with the angels by your side, I'd love for you to join us. And again, that's only open to 6 souls this time. Trying out something new. It's called the Angel Reiki Immersion. And yeah, I'll put the consult form in the comments as well. I thank you so much for being here, for liking, for sharing, if this resonates with you. And I'll be back for, I think, 3 more podcasts in December. So I hope you have an amazing, beautiful holiday. Sagittarian season is 5 days away. My birthday's 5 days away. So I'm going to be coming in hot, fiery, enjoying the best 30 days of the year, in my personal opinion, best 30 days for Sagittarians. So, and happy birthday to some of my beautiful Earth Angel students and clients. I love you so much. And you beautiful Scorpios. And yeah, be gentle with yourself, double down on your practice. And if you need help with that, reach out to me. Mwah. All my love. Bye, everyone. Thanks, Bea, for being here. Thank you, Gil, Komisha, and everyone else. Love you.